to introduce yourself. And so off we go. Hi.
Hi.
So why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Melanie Ritchie. I am from Australia. I'm now living in New York, and I think I was studying at the University of Newcastle many years ago. I can't remember the exact date.
It wasn't that long ago. When did you graduate? About 2011?
No, like 30 now. I can't even remember.
Okay, so you're a graduate of the University of Newcastle, and you just told me that you've worked in Sydney for a couple of years, and then early this year, 2016, you've come to New York. Tell us what's happened.
Sure. So I guess it started out fresh out of high school. I started designing collections and things like that. I would put on my own fashion shows, and then eventually that led to me putting on fashion shows for other people, chatting to press, all in Newcastle. And eventually I realized that I was really suited for PR, so I went to uni, did the course. It was great. And then started working in Sydney for a small startup PR agency, and then I ended up working for a larger company. I think I burnt myself out, and then I packed up all of my things, moved to New York, and started working for Fohr Card, which I was actually introduced to in my previous job. Helped me out a lot. I worked across about 13 brands, and all of those brands decided they wanted to work with social media influencers. And so I was like, great, but I'm not sitting here on Instagram and stalking, babes in bikinis. So yeah, started using Fohr Card. It was an excellent tool, and kept in touch with the girls, and yeah, ended up moving on over here.
So if I was a student at the University of Newcastle, or indeed anywhere, so you're studying a degree in communication or creative industries, whatever, and you're sitting there going, what kind of career am I going to go into? Is this a career that you would have imagined studying back when you were at the University of Newcastle?
No, but I think I would have liked to think that whatever industry I went in, I was really passionate about. I think when you first decide that you want to study something or you want to start working in industry, you have a very top of the line view of what that's going to be. And as you kind of get into it more, you start to see, I guess, like the good side, the bad side, and as long as the good side outweighs the bad side, and you enjoy your work, then I think you're going into the right industry, which is, how I've just sort of followed my path here. As I mentioned before, when I moved to New York, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do after PR, if I wanted to keep working in PR. But I did want to keep working in PR, but I just didn't know what industry exactly. And it took me all of 2 minutes once somebody, offered me a position here, that I realized that this is what I was meant to be doing.
So how does PR help, for example, working in a position like you have, which is really centered around sales of a digital platform in a startup ad tech agency? I mean, you're really at the what we call the cutting edge of the industry at the moment. So how did a degree in PR sort of 5 years ago prepare you at all for this?
Sure. I guess one, you have to learn very basics. So again, it's like how you should approach media, how, what information you should be presenting, and how, and then really it's just all going into experience as well. I think with my degree, we're actually told that to write letters to editors, and write press releases and pitch them out to people, and not only have that theory, but also get out there into the workforce and try to establish yourself with companies and agencies and people who are already in the industry. And so I think by doing that, that really gears you up into the next step, which is, hopefully your first job in PR, and then you sort of, I guess, work from there.
So obviously platforms have changed since you were at university, and certainly since I was at university. And so what happens, like, in terms of when you're at university, for example, you might learn all about, particular, say, students at university at the moment might be learning about Instagram and Snapchat, for example. But in 3 years' time, those platforms might have lost popularity. So what happens there? Like,
Sure. Yeah.
is it are they learning irrelevant things, or are they able to transfer those skills? What have you found? Like,
Yeah,
you
you
talked
should
about
absolutely be able to transfer those skills. So I've no doubt that Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, their community loyalty will change, as their audience grows older, I suppose. But the important thing is to know what is the next platform, jump onto it, and figure out how to harness that early on. And again, I guess that takes experience. It takes a bit of a gut instinct as to what's going to work and what's not going to work. You can never really, I guess, predict exactly what's going to happen, but I think as long as you're flexible and you can think on your feet, then you're going to be okay.
Does a degree at all help you develop that gut instinct or flexibility or ability to think?
I think with a degree, it's you get a certain level of knowledge. So you can go out there straight away and straight out of high school and start working in the industry, or you can go through university and learn how to write a press release properly. Remember that the people that you're learning off have like 20-30 years of experience, and it's hard to find that sort of anywhere else. So if you can get that, then yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I don't know, I'm not convinced. I think I've learned more here today than I have in the last year.
No. Well, I think fresh out of high school, for example, it's going to be pretty tricky to jump into, I guess, anywhere where they're willing to dedicate the time to teach you. So you've got to find some place where you're going to get all of that knowledge and education from somebody with decades of experience. So if you get it from university, or if you manage to land yourself in an amazing internship, like, go for it.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.